This is video number 3 about the data center. In video number 2, we initiated and created a new SRS report. We also created the Return A. And if you remember, the Return A refers to the monthly data collection that's to be submitted to the UCR program for offenses known to law enforcement. Now we're going to go a step further in video number 3 and create the supplement to Return A. All agencies reporting to the New Jersey State Police are required to prepare the supplement to Return A, which is a report that shows the value of property stolen and recovered by offense classification. I'm currently logged in as a contributor in the repository, so let's go back into the data center. Let's go to Working Items, and what we need to do is pull up the working items that we were working on last. And that was from the month of February 2017. So we come over here and we click on View, and what that'll do is it'll bring up the SRS report, and it shows you where we are in terms of pulling together all the data for the report to submit for the UCR program. As you can see, we did fill out our Return A and it was validated. That's why we have the green check mark. If we did have to make any kind of changes to it, we could go in and click the purple Edit button and make any changes. Now we're working on the supplement to Return A. And as you can see, I was in earlier and I must have been doing something that needed a little more work because I have an X here. And that shows that what I've inputted may not be 100% correct. So I need to figure out what is wrong and make the corrections. Because what I want to see here is the green check mark, just like up here. So let's go ahead and click on Supplement to Return A. If this had been the first time accessed, you would see the green New button there instead of the purple Edit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the purple Edit. And this takes us into the Supplement to Return A screen. As you might notice, there are some error messages coming up here. That's because there's information down below that needs to be filled in. So as we go through, we'll probably see some of these go away. Here is autosave. We have the toggle switch set to yes. That means that as I go through and input the data, the information will be saved for me automatically. I also have the toggle switch set to yes for the error display so that I can see errors like this up at the top. That's basically a checks and balances way of knowing what needs to be worked on within the repository and corrected. So if I scroll down, here's the supplement to Return A. And I need to go ahead and start putting in the monetary value for the property stolen. So it's broken down by type of property. Here in this column here, you'll see currency, notes, jewelry, clothing, furs, office equipment, so on and so forth, all the way down. So here's where I would put the amount that was stolen. And then over here is recovered. So for example, if $200 in money had been stolen, but 100 of the money had been recovered, I would show 200 here and 100 recovered here. And then so on and so forth. Do the same thing as you go down. If something's been recovered, you'd put the amount of the recovery over here. Down here is the property stolen by classification, and we'll go through and make sure that this is all inputted. So let's go ahead and input the information here as we know it. And this would be property stolen over the course of a month, and it's the total amount stolen for multiple incidents. So currency and notes, we had $100 stolen, but all of it was recovered. Jewelry, we had $100 taken, and it was not recovered, so we show 0 there. Clothing and furs, 100. And 0. So as I go down through here, you'll see that the numbers will tally up at the bottom. So locally stolen motor vehicles, $50,000 worth. And so far, none of it has been recovered. And it's complaining, so it wants me to make sure that I include some information down at the bottom. Office equipment, so we'll get to that in a minute. Office equipment, $50, was not recovered yet. Televisions, radios, stereos, $1,000 worth. So this is what you would be doing on a monthly basis, putting in the amounts and how much the value of the recovered property would go into the right column. Consumable goods, let's show it as 200. No livestock. Miscellaneous, let's show 200. So here's our total, $52,150 worth of stolen property. So that's the value. As we come down below, we go into the property stolen by classification. So this is where you kind of need to look back and take a look at what you put in terms of some of your numbers from when you did your Return A. So, for example, if we scroll up here, yeah, here we go. The murder and non-negligent manslaughter, that's the first category actually. So I have to remember how many actual offenses I had. So I had 1. And in that situation, we had $200 of value of property stolen. We had the actual number of offenses for rape was 3, and $100 of monetary value of property was stolen. So I continue to fill this out based on what I've received from the officers. Commercial house for 200. Gas station, service station, we had 2 actual offenses, 300. Convenience store, nothing. So we show a 0 and a $0. And then residence, we had 2 and $1,000 over here. Bank, nothing. Miscellaneous, nothing. And total robberies, we actually had 11. So that has to show the same number of robberies that we showed when we filled out our Return A. So the monetary value here of the property stolen is $1,600. Now we're going to, normally I would have something for assault, but I must not have had anything to show for assault, so we don't have to worry about that one. And so now we're going to move on to burglary. So residence, dwelling, 1 night. If it was, the number 1 is night, meaning from 6 to 6 a.m. So we had daytime, so on and so forth. So you need to fill this out and do the same, show for burglary as well. Total burglary, it shows up here. And then the larceny area here, we have one situation here. And that would be if it's $200 and over. So I'm just going to show it as 0. And it's throwing me a warning here. So it's saying here, it has to, see here, stolen column 2 for larceny, 200 and over, 6A, field average dollar amount less than 200. So why don't we just go ahead, let's see, throw that in there. Motor vehicle theft. Okay, and it's complaining about that. So I have to go back and check my motor vehicle theft numbers to see why that's not corresponding. So it doesn't like something there. So what I need to do is go back to my return A and see how many number of actual offenses did I have. So let's scroll back up. And we can go to working items. Go into my return A and see how many motor vehicles. Okay, motor vehicles, total of 5. 3 autos, 2 buses. And I probably could just step back one in my breadcrumb there, but we'll just hop in this way, supplement to return A. There's a couple different ways to get in and out. So this is information here. So grand total, it's telling me 2,650. Row grand total, all items of column monetary value of property stolen in the property stolen by classification table should match the total of column 2 stolen in property by type and value table. So what it's probably complaining about is I need to make this number here break it down over here. So let's take a look. So probably my biggest mistake is right here, because I put in $200, and obviously we had the value in column 2 row grand total of supplemental form must equal the value in row 7 column 4 for return A. Okay, so we should show 5. Oh, maybe this is it. I put in 5. We had 1 unfounded, and so we actually had 4, number of 4 actual offenses. So that might be why it's throwing that error. So let's go back. And we'll go into the supplement to return A again. And instead of showing 5, let's go in and show 4. And see if that might be where our error is. That's it. Okay, so I'd put in 5. I was thinking we had 5 when actually one of them was not an actual stolen vehicle. And so we show here 5,000 or $52,450 worth of grand total items, and it's giving me an error because it's telling me that all the items here says row Error row grand total, all items of column monetary value of property stolen in the property stolen by classification table should match total of column 2 stolen in property by type and value table. So we had 52,450. Okay. So let's just see if we can continue to work this out down below and see if it works out. Larceny. Okay, we put in that amount. It's complaining here. So must match and equal the monetary value of property stolen in total larceny, same as 6x. So 6x, 50. Somehow my number is off just a little bit. So this is where, okay, we have 52,150. So you have to go in and see if you can find where your error is. So I'm off by about $300. So maybe, let's see here. Maybe it's this one. Maybe I should show this as a 0. Maybe I just have my numbers off a little bit. Okay, so that is where the error was. I had inputted something incorrect there. All right, so that corrected this issue here for our grand total. So see, this is what it involves when you're doing this type of report. You have to make sure your data is correct, and if it's not, you have to figure out what the error is and make the correction. So we still have an issue here with our larceny, same as item 6. So we're showing $50 there, we're showing $1 here, or one person. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to save supplement return A, because my day is over and I know that I now need to go in and make a correction, and it does say here that there is one issue. Okay, so I'm going to come back and work on that in the next video and figure out what I did wrong. So let's move on to the next video.